The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Alberta. This is the weekly Alberta Takeover. My name is Anne-Marie Chantal. I am a diplomat with your favorite, fastest growing designer fashion house in the world, Global Wealth Trade. I'm super excited to be here, and I want to thank you for being on the call today. We had an incredible branding party online yesterday with Jeanette Beaver. That was incredible. If you missed it, you're gonna want to go and listen to it again and see how you can make retail sales and do parties through at home parties, right? So yeah, that was incredible, a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to do mine as well. Now, let me just move this. Okay, so today's I wanted to share with you one of the skills. Basically, the presenting your products or your opportunity to your prospect, and the 5 key points that prospect actually want to hear during a tour, right? Because we all want to know what our prospect want to know, right? And as you know, the final decision by your prospect actually usually occurs before your presentation. So I mean, it's not, it's still no excuse to make a miserable presentation, but it's really happened before. So, and last week we talked about the approaches. So today I want to share a few keys about a full presentation. And when you bring all the facts, such as the one that we'll do on a weekly tours or hotel meetings and things like that, it should only take 25 to 30 minutes. We should go, it should go right to the core of the information to the new prospect that wants to know, right? You may notice that the presentation have 5 key key points, and each of these points is designed to answer one of the 5 key questions that your prospect has in order to make that decision to join, right? So today we're going to review the section that you will better understand the science of the professional network marketer business presentation. So again, this is the answer to an efficient recruiting presentation. So as I said, you want to structure a presentation, right? As I mentioned, the presentation occur before the presentation. So they make their decision before. It should take 25 to 30 minutes to do the tour and the 5 questions. So let's get started. So the first section is actually the industry. So our prospect want to know what kind of industry we're in, right? So they may have a particular aversion to certain industries, such as the insurance or real estate, right? But we can answer this first question in their mind very easily. It's very simple. You tell them we're in network marketing. Now, there's 2 types of prospect. There's the people who don't understand what network marketing is, and there's the people that do understand it, right? So for those familiar with network marketing, we only have to answer the questions, and that will go very quickly to section number 2. For those who don't understand what network marketing is, we simply have to tell them a story, a legit story that make them understand the direct marketing concept, so they can feel now comfortable with doing that way for their products, or the opportunity to bring out, right? So we want, for this first section, you want the prospect to be relaxed, right? So that's our first presentation, the first key of the section, and that section should only last for 2-3 minutes. So it's a very, very fast part of the tour. Now, section number 2 is the company. So our prospect is not interested in the complete finance, the number square of the head office, or all the ins and outs. What they want to know is the real desire or the name of the company. Is it manageable, right? So the name of the company, is it manageable? Do they have any experience? Is the company growing? Or is it a good plan? What kind of plans do they have for the future? In other words, are they good guys or are they the bad guys, right? Too many presentations carry away with lots of credibility and statistic, and we should really save that for the training. At this point, our prospect wants to know just a few facts, not the whole company history, but his question about the company is usually answered, in about a minute, really. Now, the third section is the products. Now, we know we all have amazing products with GWT, with Global Wealth Trade, but the real question, right, is not what is it made of. It's not about, the the jewelry is amazing. We are a designer fashion house, so it is important that we share about the quality. But going in details of the quality and going in the manufacturing, people don't care as much of what the jewelry is made of. What they want to know is what is it? Is there a market for that product? Can I sell it? Right? Obviously, if I wear jewelry, I don't necessarily want to know details. If I do, I will ask questions, right? So again, the section of the product should be about 5 to 8 minutes for that tour. And then the next section is the training. There is a difference between, a professional recruiting presentation and those very amateur one, when you look at the training attached to it. Because a new prospect, sit through our entire tour for, the time we're there. And at the end of the meeting, we'll hear things. Okay, let me put it this way more. I'm sure you've been into or you've done a tour where somebody said to you something like, wow, the products really look great. The marketing plans is amazing. They sure have a great way for the financial security, and the amount of money that you can make through this business is phenomenal. This is great, but I'm not going to join. This is not for me, but wow, you really got a great company there, right? Have you ever heard of that? Anybody ever said that to you? So why would this happen? Well, it's simple. The person giving a presentation often forget to answer the most important question of the entire meeting. And that question is, can I do it? Right? Our new prospect would certainly want all of the benefits that our program has, but if they don't feel that they can do it themselves, they're never going to join, right? So our jobs is to make sure that we share with them and explain our training program. Let them know, Sunday night training is amazing. It's at home. It's through webinar. You can, we do weekly tours, if it's applicable into your market. You do with My Five. You can have coaching and personal mentoring through My Five. We have like an entire university of training online for you, so that's just a part one of our training. And part two is on the job training, right? And then we ask our prospect, to set a few appointments and watch and observe while we sponsor new distributor into his organization, right? So set some appointments right at the moment for that to help them. And that part of the training section should only take 4 to 5 minutes. So again, at this point where your prospect can say, oh, all I have to do is send a few texts or call my friends and say, hey, and using the script that we had last week, hey, I just find out about this incredible designer brand. I want to get started and I want to show you all about it. Right? Now, by telling our prospect about this simple training, now they can feel that they can do it. Now they're excited, right? And then the last section is section 5, is the marketing plan. So our presentation should be explaining how the compensation plan works here, right? This is really the key, because as explaining the compensation plan in our tour, just the same way that everybody, Lior, Renee, everybody does the tour. We answer our prospects' question and concern that they have. And the three questions that our prospect want to know right at the beginning is, how much money will it cost me, right? The second question is, what do I have to do? And then the third question is, how much money can I make? Now, if you can answer those questions through your tour, which most of them you would have by already tell them, what to do, and you show them how much it will cost them through the tour and how they can do it. Now they're much more at ease, right? They're much more relaxed, and they're more excited to get started. Now, that section of the tour should take only 5 to 10 minutes. Now, if you take a look at what Ramin and the entire GWT Corporation and team has put together for the tour itself, it's amazing how brilliant they market their tour. So learning how to put the tour together is a real key to bring that in front of your prospect. So those are the major questions and sections that are really, really key for people to get started. And that's what they want to know. They want to hear stories. They want to know how other people have done it, right? They don't want to know as much of the details of the company. They want to know that they can do it. And if you really feel and care for them and they really feel that back, you will have an amazing organization, or and people will feel that. Now, a few other keys here I wanted to bring, that I was looking at Eric Worre's book earlier, because on his skill number 3 is presenting your products and opportunity to your prospect, right? And number 1, he was saying, when you're prospecting, you're really the messenger. You're not it, right? Get yourself out of the way and use a third-party tool that will do way better, because now your prospect can do it, right? Number 2 was learn to tell your story in a way that will make your prospect curious to hear more. Now, I will be bringing how to structure a story in an upcoming training here, because really your stories, everything, that's what people want to hear. People want to hear stories. So make sure that you have your stories, that you can share. I personally share my story before the tour, so they know what happened to me before they even, I feel that by then, as I mentioned earlier, people make a decision at the beginning of the presentation, right? So by telling them my story, often what happens is that they want to know more. They get hungry. They want to know, tell me, right? And number 3 is when it comes to presenting in front of a group of people, you want to be prepared, because that's really, really the key here. And when you're prepared, it's a lot more fun, right? So I really had like a very small and a small training in that regards, but I wanted to open the lines and for any questions, and I also wanted to let you know what I have planned for the next week training, because I do remember mentioning to you guys that I wanted to bring basically the 7 skills in network marketing to become a professional, but to also go deeper into the skills so you can really learn of how you can bring this to the world. So next week I am planning to work on follow-ups with prospects, and I'm going to bring up a few objections and concerns that people have, and what makes it easier or sometimes hard on prospect to make that decision of getting started, of launching the mob, because of those concerns they have. So I know a few people have been asking me, how do you follow up and what's the best way to follow up? So I am planning to have that that training for next Monday. If it's not next Monday, it's going to be the following one, because it's a little bit of a bigger training, and I want to make sure that I am well prepared so I can bring the best training for you guys. But otherwise, this is what's expecting for next week. Now, as I said, I do want to open the line because the idea of this um, Monday night is not just for me to train, although I feel that I'm training myself when I bring this. So I'm really enjoying it because it brings me back to the roots myself as well, which is great. But I also want to hear from you. So if there's any questions or if anybody wants to share anything, just write it down or raise your hand. Um, because I really want to be there for you more than for me, because I know more and more where to get the information. Which, by the way, today's information, I got it from one of my really dear mentor, Big Al. So Tom Big Al Schreider. He has multiple books now and lots of audio that help me to actually be able to do presentation that are efficient, that are short, be able to understand what a prospect is looking for, to write down my stories. He has some icebreakers book. It's He's incredible. He's built organization all around the world. Still is, and and that's where today I took a lot of the training that I put out from his sponsoring magic book actually. So if there's no other questions, um, which, yeah, I'm not seeing any questions here, so I'm unsure if I'm not. Yeah, so this is what I have for today. Hopefully